The Bliss Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome to the Marketing with Purpose, a segment of the Bliss Business Podcast, where we explore what it really takes for marketing leaders to create impact that goes beyond the numbers. I'm Michele, and in each episode, we sit down with marketing experts to explore their leadership approach and strategies that drive performance and resonate with their audience. Together, we'll dive into what's working, what's not, and how purpose and empathy can transform the way brands connect with people. Let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Haley Anderson, account executive at Zero Company. Haley brings a strong foundation in communications and public relations, paired with deep expertise in paid media strategy across platforms like Google, Meta, and LinkedIn. She is known for translating complex data into clear insights, refining creative to maximize performance, and building campaigns that deliver results while strengthening brand positioning. Grounded in her San Antonio roots and driven by both creativity and analytics, Haley blends heart and strategy in the way she helps brands grow and connect with their audiences. We're going to explore customer connection in a data-driven world, and I'm excited to dive in. Haley, before we dive in, I'd love to hear, why was customer connection in a data-driven world the topic you chose to explore with us today, and what makes it so important right now?
Yeah, so I think I chose this topic because in college I was a communications major. So communicating with clients has always been something that I've been super passionate about. And I think right now in today's day and age, marketers have data readily available more so than they used to. And I think often it makes customers feel a little bit less understood, because while metrics can tell us what people are doing, it doesn't always really tell us why they are doing it. So I think right now, with a lot of privacy changes, a lot of AI-driven automation, it makes brands rethink about how they can build trust. And customer connection isn't always about hyper-targeting anymore. It's a lot about transparency and then showing the real value.
That's an important foundation. Understanding why matters really sets the tone for the rest of our conversation here. CMOs are often pulled between near campaign results and long-term brand building. How do you ensure your marketing strategy stays aligned with the company's goals, and where do you find the biggest friction points in making that happen?
Yeah, I think we can find the biggest growth goals is just starting by shared business outcomes, not necessarily channel metrics. I really try to anchor my strategy to revenue targets, customer lifetime value, market expansion goals, and then mapping those campaigns to those outcomes. I think typically the biggest friction point is often, when leadership wants to see immediate pipeline, while brand is still building, it still requires that consistency and patience in order to build that pipeline. I typically address this with customers just by balancing a portfolio approach, because oftentimes, sometimes initiatives drive short-term demand, while others build like a long-term brand equity there, so lower costs over time.
Oh, so true. The balance between brand and performance is so important. Thank you for that. In high-stakes situations like a brand crisis or market downturn, how do you maintain a sense of purpose and empathy while making quick, strategic decisions?
I think just asking the right questions, asking who is impacted and what do they need from us right now. I think that question, that general question, really keeps decisions grounded in purpose. I don't necessarily think empathy is a slow decision-making thing. It often clarifies decision-making for both the marketer and for the customer, because when the teams can understand one another and understand the human impact behind a choice, alignment happens faster, and often messaging will resonate more authentically as well with the audience.
I love that perspective on purpose and also composure too. Thank you. Can you share a time when customer feedback or behavior data completely shifted your campaign direction and what that taught you about balancing intuition with analytics?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this has definitely happened more than once, but I know right off the top of my head, I worked on a campaign where engagement looked really strong on paper, but conversion rates were often lacking. After digging into the customer feedback that we were receiving and then the behavior recordings, we realized users were often really confused by the messaging we were putting out. It was clever, but it was unclear to the audience. So we shifted from, creative driven copy to clarity driven messaging, focusing on customer pain points. Conversions often from that point improved significantly. I think the big lesson to take from this is that, intuition sparks ideas, but customer behavior validates those ideas. And data shouldn't override creativity. It should help refine it.
Oh, that's a great example of customers changing direction, customer signals and actions changing direction. Yeah. Thank you. What's worked best for turning marketing into a revenue driver at your company? And where do you still see gaps in CRM, lead tracking, or sales alignment that make it hard to measure success?
I think marketing becomes a really big revenue driver when it owns not just lead generation, but lead quality and life cycle performance. The biggest gaps I still see are in the CRM hygiene and attribution. I think disconnected systems and inconsistent data entry make it difficult to improve that impact. True alignment requires shared definitions of success and then often mutual accountability between both teams, being the customer and the marketer as well.
Mm-hmm. And once those systems are in place, it really comes down, right, to the people driving them.
Yes, absolutely.
What's your approach to developing marketing talent so they not only hit performance goals, but also stay engaged and inspired? And where do you see leaders struggling most in retaining top talent?
For me personally, I really try to focus on clarity, autonomy, and growth. Growth is a really big one. I think people perform best when they understand how their work impacts the bigger picture and have ownership over outcomes, and we see a path for development. I think where leaders often struggle with retention is when they treat performance as purely an outpoint driven. High performers want purpose, we want feedback and opportunities to stretch our skills. And I think often engagement comes from feeling valued and not just measured.
Agree. That human side of leadership is really important, right? And that empathy component as well.
Yes, huge.
How do purpose and empathy shape the way you approach marketing today? And can you share a personal story where your work had a meaningful impact on a customer or an employee?
Yeah, so I think the real question is, what decisions does my purpose and empathy not help me make every day? Because often empathy for me shape every decision that I make as an account executive, but also just as a human being. On the marketing side of things, I think behind every data point is a person that's just trying to solve a problem or improve their life. I think when we remember that, our work becomes full and effective. I think one moment that stands out to me the most is when I was hearing from a customer who said a campaign helped them finally understand a service that had been intimidating for them to use. I think that reminder and that clarity can empower someone to take action and reinforce why thoughtful, human-centered marketing matters. At its best, I think marketing isn't about persuasion. It's just about helping people make confident decisions.
Yeah, and forging just those really genuine brand connections with people as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
What a powerful note to close on, Haley. It's inspiring to hear how purpose and empathy continue to drive both performance and connection in your marketing. Haley, thank you for joining us on the Marketing with Purpose series today.
Thank you.
I hope today's conversation sparked new ideas on how you can align strategy, execution, and purpose in your own work. If you found value in this discussion, like, subscribe, or share it to keep the conversation going. And remember, great marketing doesn't just sell, it serves. See you next time.